My name is Adam English. I originally came from Pennsylvania. I've been out here about, in Colorado, accrued 10 years, in Summit County about 7.
My name is Erin Young. I own a small business here in Silverthorne, Colorado, a town that I've lived in for 24 years now. So in Silverthorne, I own Red Buffalo Coffee and Tea. We're a small independent coffee shop. I have about 10 employees at my busiest time, and then I go down to about 5 to 6 in my slow season.
I'm Erin Fisher. I work for the Northwest Colorado Council of Governments. I'm really fortunate that I moved here for the job. So this job I've had the whole 6 years that I've lived here. And then I have my ski pass job over at the Keystone Nordic Center.
I'm Mike Cook and I work for TV8 here in Silverthorne. I'm the production manager and I've been here for about 2 years.
You know, I'm Shervin Rashidi and I've had a number of businesses around Summit County for 20-something years, from hospitality to building and employing hundreds of employees over the years, and really enjoying the mountain lifestyle, but trying to, like everyone else, figure out the balance between living up here, affording to be here, and getting around town and all of that.
My name is Drew Hohen. And I live in Breckenridge and I work for Red, White, and Blue Fire.
My name is Emily Hoskins and I'm Outreach Coordinator for Northwest Colorado Council of Governments Energy Program. And I've been here a little over a year now, about a year and 2 months. The search to find housing was the most stressful. Once I found the place, you know, I'm able to breathe now, but it was a little stressful.
I really do think the community supports me in everything that I do here, whether it's work, activity, nightlife, or anything like that. I think that the community is all one.
I'd say I've been lucky to have a business in this community because it's so supportive. We have many initiatives that go to the population on elections, and they support most of those, and that is amazing.
In the 6 years that I've lived here, I've seen a lot of movement and appetite and direction to help support my generation with more affordable workforce housing. I've seen the number of affordable housing units increase, and there's a lot of discussion and movement towards making healthcare more affordable up here. So I think the community is trying to be more supportive, but I think the underlying issues still remain of just the general expense of living up here.
I do have a vision for living here for a long time, and it comes down to the way you facilitate your life and the occupations that you choose. I can do it because of a year-round occupation that offers a great benefits package. So I can go out there and explore, hike, bike, ski, fish, all the activities. Not a lot of occupations offer the same benefits as some of the other jobs, so you have to choose wisely.
Do I want to live in deed restricted or affordable or workforce or community housing for the rest of our time or the rest of my professional career? I don't. I'd like to transition into something else, and that's the current challenge.
The quality of life that I have with this job and the amount of income I have, it's fine, but I can't really save anything. And I live in a small one-bedroom apartment with my fiance, so we have 2 incomes right now, and we're both struggling to pay rent and save money at the same time.
There's a certain point you don't want to meet your future husband and live with 5 other people and think about starting a family and still be paying more than you would for rent or mortgage in another place.
The only thing that would limit me from living here is the amount of space available. i.e., rentals, homes, and things like that. They becoming shorter and shorter, or smaller and smaller as time goes on, and it's harder to find places to live. I'm fortunate enough to live with a family member, like a lot of my other friends do around the area, because this is what we have to do. You always have to make certain sacrifices for things that you love, and all that is worth it to me.
I do aspire to own my own house, but buying up here, I just don't think it's gonna be in the near future, not as close as where I want it to be. I've done research, and if I go for de-restricted housing if I get married, both of our incomes together are gonna be higher than what's on that limit So we're actually going to be buying at market price. I wouldn't qualify for de-restricted housing.
There's a quality of life component too. I can spend a lot of money and move into something that is not adequate for where I feel I am in life. What I feel is a property that I would be comfortable purchasing is out of my reach.
So if I wanted to buy up here, I was looking at a condo that's the same size as mine, a couple doors down, that is going for $270,000. And there's a tipping point for me where that's just too much money for the amount of accessible activities and beauty of this county, where if that continues to rise, I'm gonna have to probably move someplace else.
Housing has become a big stress for my employees, not just the cost of it, but the risk. You don't know if your landlord is going to want to sell your place and you're going to get kicked out soon. Or you have your beloved pet, but your place doesn't accept dogs. There are so many different stressors associated with that.
I know there's a lot of people up here there's a lot of people that live in one house. I'm too old for that. But I was really discouraged there for a little bit. And I was like, do I move down to Denver? Like, because I do have friends that do commute and work remotely sometimes, but.
And transportation, I feel like, is a way that we could not only deal with moving people efficiently around the mountains and lowering our footprint and all those important things that we should be thinking about going forward, but maybe also lowering the need for housing, where people can come up here from Georgetown, from Evergreen, even from Denver, and have a good job up here and do the reverse travel, right?
3.5 years ago, I bought a 1-bedroom deed-restricted unit in Breckenridge, and it's great, and I love it there. But at this point, I feel a little stuck there because 3.5 years ago when I bought into it, I qualified for deed restricted, and I've been fortunate enough that my salary has increased to where I'm no longer eligible for deed restricted, but there's this chasm in between deed restricted and the next step up in market rate. And so it's, deed restricted or $500,000 starting. And so for myself and many of my friends, there's a gap to be able to get a bigger place to either start a family or just because I'm ready to have a little bit more room or storage or whatever that is. And it's really difficult to be able to find that middle ground in between deed restricted and market rate housing.
Millennials kind of have this sense of scared to commit, and we don't want to buy yet. We don't want to put ourselves into too much debt. We went through college. We got student loans. We have enough debt already. We're still trying to pay that off. And I think paying off our student loans is our first step. Second step would be buying a house. Now I think it's going to take much longer to pay off our student debts than to get to that point where we can get back into debt and buy a new house. I think that is the key component of why we're not buying houses at a younger age.
The train idea has been out there for years and years, and I personally think it's a good idea if we could figure it out and afford it. But at the same time, just trying to get Americans to give up their cars, is that going to happen? And all those other questions that go along with it.
I think of, we have an element in our community that shows up for a year, tune skis, they rent, and they haven't particularly built ownership in the community.
How many people say, I'm going to take a year off and go do something, right? So I think a lot of people that come here have that mindset in their head to start with, that they're going to take a year and then they're going to go back to whatever life or hometown they had. Once they get here, we'll love it, right? And we'll want to stay, and a lot of us change that mentality and want to take that next step. Truthfully, this state has grown and has grown up. I don't think anything's holding anyone back if they work hard enough.
I think there are plenty of jobs out here that are career-based that they can take advantage of, but I don't think a lot of them have that mentality. I think they really enjoy coming here, working really hard for a winter, then taking 2 months off and vacationing around. And that kind of hurts us a little bit because we put investment in them all winter long, and then come, mud season, then they're all gone, and then they want their jobs back, and like, we have to restart and retrain them on everything, and I see a lot of time wasted and a lot of effort wasted.
There's a number of people like me that are out there that are probably facing the same decision, and so the decision boils down to, can you figure this out, or is your choice to find employment elsewhere, move elsewhere? And then it goes back again to the community has now lost their investment, they've lost their level of experience, and you're going to have to either bring somebody in from the outside or just continue that cycle.
And I looked at Summit County as a beautiful place. It's where dreams are, And then when you come up here, you do realize this is where dreams are, but this is not where dreams are made. You cannot build fast or quickly in a very comfortable manner to get to where your dreams are.
But the price of housing and the inability to nail down a place of your own is probably the largest.